So if you haven't won in the Airtel Womrenia promo, Jack, you for no lose God at all. As for this last show, it's for you. That's why the promo has been extended to 6th of June. Recharge, my friend, recharge again, because with this last day's special, 2 people each will win 1,000 CDs every day. The weekly prize of 10,000 CDs is now 15,000 CDs. And then the grand prize of 150,000 Ghana CDs is still there. So make your dreams come true by recharging with 2 CDs and above, because 6th June, game over. Last goal for closing Ankasa Womrenia Airtel, the smartphone network, and they brought us entertainment. Right now, let's cross over to the Ashanti region, and here's Mohammed Nuruddin's visit to a farm that's been infested by the fall armyworm.
It is a small worm that feeds fast on plants. One of Ghana's food baskets, a Jurassic Dumasi municipality, is under siege. The fall armyworm has become the most dreaded enemy of maize farmers, a serious threat to Ghana's food security. Months before the worms became widespread, media reports had suggested they could hamper bumper harvest. About 2,000 acres of farmlands have been invaded by the fall armyworms here at the Dumasi municipality. Farmers have sprayed different kinds of pesticide, but the negative impact of the pest is getting worse day by day.
In fact, I'm not happy at all, because I depend only solely on the farm to earn up my living and then my family as a whole. At the moment, I'm lost totally, so I don't know what I'm doing at the moment. I'm very, very confused.
We've used every pesticide at our disposal, but we've not had any positive results yet. This is one of the pesticides we have used to try to kill the worms. We've spent a fortune on fighting this, but to no avail.
The situation is similar, if not worse, on the Ejura National Service Secretariat farm. And after this farm has also been invaded by the fall armyworms, and after several attempts to get rid of them, you can still see them inside this, in the crops. You can see their feces here, and if you go to some of the crops here, the plant, you can see that the fall armyworms have eaten them. A lot of them, a couple of them around. About 200 out of the 600 acres cultivated have been invaded. 30 boxes of Karat pesticide brought from Accra to spray the farm have made little or no impact. Sources say the 600 acres of farm is part of the Planting for Food and Jobs initiative launched by government recently. Given the presence of the worms in other districts, the damage is severe and livelihoods are seriously at stake.
Almost 2,000 acres are
About 2,000 acres of farmland at Ejura have been attacked. These acres were plowed by the youth of this town. We are helpless now because we don't know how this will turn out in future. We have 2 planting seasons. We don't know what these worms will do next.
Unlike the African armyworm, which has been combated, little is known about the fall armyworm except it originates from the Americans. Its ability to hide in the maize tree stem makes it more difficult to detect and more resistant to pesticide. Experts recommend research as first step to protecting the African continent from the worm. Dr. Haruna Brema is an entomologist at the Crop Research Institute.
Within a very short time, and unfortunately for us, this is an insect that has over 80 plant species as hosts, most of them food crops. So we are in a crisis because it is at the heart of our staple food crops, and quite little is known about how to manage it because it's an insect that came into the system quite recently.
Dr. Brema says Ghanaians should be concerned about the devastation caused by the fall armyworm.
We shouldn't only be worried, we should be completely devastated, because you see, this is an insect that attacks maize. If you take maize out of the Ghanaian menu, what do you have? Rice, cowpea, millet, guinea corn. These are all hosts. Even the soil that we are trying to produce to feed our animals is also a host. So this is not a situation to joke around with. We are in a crisis. If the extent to which you have seen damage in the field is anything to write home about, we produce maize 2 times a year in this country. If the first season is the time we produce the largest quantity of maize, the second season, because of erratic rainfall, we produce quite a bit, but not as much as in this first season. And in both seasons, the fall armyworm is a pest.
Dr. Robert Edu is agriculture economist at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. He says there is imminent maize shortage if poultry farmers compete with human beings for the commodity.
I expect some importation because, our poultry sector also largely depends on maize supply for its survival. And so if we are unable to get the larger volumes, then human consumption is going to compete with animal consumption for maize. And so I expect some little amount of importation. But I think going forward, we have to strategize and plan ahead. We have to resource our research institutes so that they can develop local methods of dealing with these worms, especially if they are using the botanicals that are available, so that we are not taking unawares as we have been.
He wants government to strategize to minimize the effect of the worm invasion. Livelihoods of hundreds and even thousands of people are under threat. Farmers want the government to intervene to make good the promise to combat the worms. Government says it has set aside 60 million Ghana cedis to fight the pest, but farmers say they are yet to see action anywhere. Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin reporting.